everyone, I hope I'm in focus because I'm not wearing my glasses right now. Also, I realized the glasses I grabbed are my old prescription anyways. These are only so helpful. Gosh, they're still so cute though. So I, like many people, have become very enamored, in love with the cottagecore aesthetic. It's like my childhood obsession with my side of the mountain combined with my joy of baking and embroidery. And you take the two and you put them together and you make an aesthetic that is how I want to feel. I also have this super cute apron that I love. I'm ready to bake. We're gonna bake. So today I'm gonna be making a bread recipe that's my favorite white bread recipe. This is from Brown Eyed Baker, her blog. They do that awesome thing where you can just print the recipe and don't have to print everything else. But I am having this recipe because I don't think I have enough flour to make both loaves. So because of that, my recipe might stuff might not work right, basically is what I'm trying to say. I also don't have a stand mixer. I am the mixer here. I'm just hoping that I can do a good job of mixing the ingredients and without the dough hook and that. We're just gonna go into it. Also, as I get it set up, I will have kind of two camera angles going on today. Yeah, and then I also even got my light set up so I could film and have it be in the kitchen. Welcome to my kitchen. So the first thing it wants me to do is in a bowl of a mixer. Hi, here's my bowl. I'm going to stir to dissolve yeast and some water and let it sit for 5 minutes. So let's do that. So I actually had yeast. I didn't have to worry about getting it during the great everybody was gonna bake bread times at the start of quarantine. I've just had yeast because I have tried to make bread before. The first time it went pretty well. It was definitely bread. I don't think anyone could claim otherwise. But I think I'm trying a different recipe. At first I thought this was the same recipe, but reading the directions, I feel like it's actually not. Alright, so it'll take 1 package of yeast, and then I need 0.38 cup of water. So I'm going to use 1/4 of a cup, which is 0.25, and then a little bit more than 1/4. That should be fine. So here is 0.25, and then I just need a bit more. I know there's more accurate ways for me to do this, but I think we'll be fine. Baking's one of those things where I know I'm supposed to be really particular about measurements, but I'm not exactly going to this thinking it's gonna be amazing. I'm kind of going into this with the well, I'm gonna try it, and if it goes well, it goes well. So I don't want to let it dissolve. Definitely has yeast smell. I hope you all are doing well. I'm pretty much committing to trying not to go outside as much as possible, especially because cases in my county have been spiking. It sounds like it's just due to some private gatherings, but it might especially be my city. So I am just hardcore trying to stay inside. This entire situation is just really hard. Alright, so there is my mixture. I'm gonna let it set for 5 minutes. While that's happening, I actually earlier today decided to make some orange garlands. So I had some blood oranges, I think they are, but they've been sitting on my counter for way too long. We weren't eating them fast enough. I also got them from grocery outlet, and sometimes I end up the produce there can go bad pretty quick. So they just seemed off when I tried them, or I went ahead and sliced them up, and they're baking right now. Actually, I'm gonna check to dry. But with them being blood oranges, some of them had really, really pretty coloring and kind of stained glass looking color palette. It was really, really pretty. Also, yes, you may notice my hair color is just very strange right now. So my roots are growing in, obviously. This reddish section is from when I bleached my hair, thinking I would be able to get myself to go blonde again. Not correct. And then this dark part down here is because I've been using Overtone, which is the colored conditioners. I've been using the brown one, and my tips being already bleached from when I still had orange in my hair. just hardcore have taken to it and like love it. And the rest of my hair, like the first wash look really good, but then if I like ever wash my hair and I don't use the overtone, it starts going back to this reddish color. Super dark and then red, and then my roots are pretty dark. So it's fun, it's weird. I've gotten compliments on it and they're like, oh, it's gonna be like a fun ombre once it all grows out. I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I think it's gonna look weird. Now I need to add in the remaining 2 2/3 cups of water, which is going to be 1 1/3 for my purposes. So it's going to be my 1/3, and then I need 3 for the cup. And then my sugar, salt, and room temperature butter, which I've all actually put into one bowl already. So I'm just gonna pour in, and I definitely, to be honest, have added more sugar than I was supposed to. Because I read the ingredients wrong, which is like so kind of on brand thing for me at this point. Like, do I know how to read ingredients lists? So right now I got yeast, salt, sugar, and butter in a bowl, and I gotta start adding my flours. I don't have a cup measuring cup anymore. I had this really nice measuring cup set, and my cup measuring thing is missing. So I do have half a cup. So we're just gonna go ahead, add in my flour. We're gonna cringe because I'm so nonchalant and relaxed with my baking. In reality, I used to be like one of those people that was very, very particular about my baking and really good about making sure I was using exact measurements. And my mom did teach me well. Like, don't worry, I'm just kind of doing my thing right now. I don't know, I'm not like super concerned about the results, I guess. Oh, I think a hair got in there. This is the joy of having hair. Look at that texture. That's so interesting. Very paste-like. I also always think it's interesting the bread doesn't contain any milk or eggs. So this is like technically vegan. That's pretty sweet. I mean, bread was definitely something that I never had an issue with when I was eating fully vegan. It is pretty easy to find. So now is when it wants me to start mixing it with a dough hook, but obviously I don't have that, so I'm gonna gradually add in more flour. So this is the first half of the 3rd cup. Oh my gosh, the smell reminds me, I used to eat at the Rock Pizza, which I think it's just a Washington exclusive chain. The first location, actually it's kind of a fun story. So the first location was in Tacoma, Washington, which is actually where I grew up. And it was one of the very first, I think it was the first restaurant me and my mom and my sister ever went out to dinner at in Tacoma. My mom had like asked around about what, you know, the good places to eat in Tacoma were, and that's where we went. And it is the original location. I bet they've changed a lot now that they've become a chain, which is just like natural. But the original location really used to be like pretty edgy and had lots of like rock and roll stuff and had like this like dinosaur skeleton in it, and it just was very cool, but also as a kid a little scary. Like I remember definitely being intimidated by the decor as a very like, I was such a scaredy cat little kid. Is that my 3rd cup or my 4th cup? I think that was my 3rd still. This is why I shouldn't bake. Or talk while I bake at least. I have such a distracted, but yeah, oh, they used to give us dough to play with. That was kind of a funny thing. Like if you were a kid there, you could play with a ball of dough. Which they obviously wouldn't use to make pizza. Yeah, they were really good pizzas though. I miss going there. I also just kind of in general miss living in Tacoma. I live in a far smaller town now, and just being in Tacoma, being so close to Seattle and Federal Way and other cities that, I don't know, have like vastly more diverse, like Tacoma itself has a very diverse population. Ooh. My camera's gonna die. So because my battery is like on the edge of its life, I'm kind of preparing here for it to die. What's gonna happen for him here is I'm gonna mix in the rest of the dough, I'm gonna knead it, and then I'm gonna put it in a bowl and let it sit for an hour. So I'll just come back in an hour once I've let it sit, and I'll show you what it looks like. Forgot to record the end of this video, but here's what that dough looked like after I let it rise. From here on out, I rolled it up let it sit in a pan for 40 more minutes. Here are my little oranges as they were baking as well. They look pretty cute. Oh yeah, and then I went ahead and baked the bread, and here is how it looked. It was delicious. I'm super happy with this recipe and I highly recommend it. Hope you all have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye!